Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon to all respected teachers. I hope that you are doing well wherever you are. First, with great pleasure, I welcome all of you to okay. Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon to all respected teachers. I hope that you are doing well wherever you are. First, with great pleasure, I welcome all of you to a talk entitled Hello? Okay. No. Okay. So, okay, I'm sorry. Okay. First, with great pleasure, I welcome all of you to a talk entitled Effective English Communication Technique. When we talk about communication, it is part it is part of our daily life. It is a crucial skill whether in business, teaching, or even in a normal conversation, as it helps people express and understand ideas, feelings, and thoughts. Effective communication helps individuals get through the tasks of life with it. So, communicating effectively can ensure that others understand the meaning of the message being conveyed, and it also can tell them about your feelings and emotions. However, most people might have some problems when they need to communicate in the English language, but the problem could be solved if people could work on improving this skill. Because of that, we are here to listen to some tips on this topic today. And if you have any question, please ask on the comment section. So without much delay, please welcome our speaker, Mr. Muhammad Nakib from University Islam Antarabangsa, Malaysia.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Wahida, as our moderator for today. So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Um, so hopefully everybody can hear me well, because I'm about to just put this out, just say this out loud. Learning English to me as a Malaysian living here is weird. You know, I've been learning English since primary, and then went to secondary, and then I further my studies in English. But all I can conclude is that learning English to me is weird. Okay, like for example, I was told to write, but then I'm not sure whether I should use a Z or a S in my writing, whether it British or American. I was exposed to a lot of American media, so it made me wonder which English is right. Let me give you an example in a video, if you may.
Always thought I don't really know, I just speak. But when I think about it, I guess there are some things that I did over the past few years to improve my English. So I'll try my best to give you some tips.
It was a bigger thing than that for me, right? I had painted myself into a little bit of a Will Smith corner, right? So there were things that, because I had kids and because I was Will Smith, there were things I couldn't say and things I couldn't do and certain projects I couldn't take, and I had sort of painted myself into a little bit of a fearful corner.
I have been just unbelievably lucky with the people that I've had around me at certain times in my life. And I met some really key people, some of them actors, some of them not, who just gave me great advice and really cared for me. And ultimately, it was my own decision. Like, I woke up one morning after a night going like, this is probably not good.
Um, but still, all of those speakers, they are from different country. There are some of it are one of it are Native American, one is a British, one is from British, and another one is Malaysian. You can obviously see the difference between how they speak, how they deliver. So still, which one is the right one? After further research and asking around, asking my lecturers, asking my friends, asking anybody who have wonder about the same questions, I came up with a conclusion that all of it was right. Because if you see the way they speak, there's one similarities, one key similarities that we could see here, which is The slide. Yeah, the big word, confidence. Truthfully, that's all you need when in communication. Confidence. No matter what English, I mean, if there is a qualification of Malay English, British English, American English, no matter what English that you are using, be proud of it. Be confident about it. If you choose to speak like a British people in Malaysia, it's fine. Go with it. Although you might sound a little different because you're not native, but it's okay. Go with it. Because communication, like everything, is about practicing. It's not something that someone just came out and do. Nobody really become a good communicator that way. You can be someone who can well approachable, but not someone who's a good communicator, because communicating is a skill that needs practice. So first of all, that you need is confidence. How you gonna be confidence? One key idea here is to believe in yourself, in your own ability to communicate. Okay, then how are we gonna do that? Let me give an example of a footballer. Okay, they went to 10,000 hours of training so that they could become a pro in football. So when they go on pitch, they're gonna be confident with what they can do. They know what they can do. They know they can play well. They know this is their turf. So it's the same. They know what they can do. So it's the same in communicating. Spend some time in it. Um, Maybe there is some what we call small parts of communication that can be improved. I'll go on that further on later. But first, believe in yourself and give yourself time to try. How to believe in yourself is first to have a mindset that this is something that I want to do and I will put up my time into it. So you have to take time to polish the skill set. One of the things that you can do is to find clarity, to speak with clarity. Okay. Um, Clarity is actually not that big idea, big thing that is really out of reach. It's just saying something that you really knows about. That saying something that you have to really know. Okay. So all you have to do is actually a lot, because clarity doesn't comes like suddenly. Clarity is something that you train. You train your mind to always think in a straight path or in a broadened path, depends on the situation. So how to achieve clarity is by you training your brain to able to access all this memory in a single swoop, in an instance. And how to do that? Okay, I'm gonna give you a type of training that you can do now. Okay, um, full screen that. This is an example of a passage, simple passage. I just want you to read this. I'll give you time around mm, two 3 minutes. Just read this, and then there's gonna be some questions following up later, and try to answer that. Okay, your 3 minutes starts now. Okay, so you've been reading it maybe once, twice, but um, try to read again, because this is something that you train your brain. You might think that you got this, but I tried it first at the first time, 3 minutes. I read that like quite one, 2 times, and like I got this. But when I face the questions, it's like, oh, what was it? So try to read, try to take the points in. Next slide. Okay. So these are the questions that you need to answer from the passage just now. How many of this question can you answer? Maybe like a minute for this. Okay, so um, there are 9 questions there, and how many of it that you got? Can you answer? That's it. Um, like what is Jim's father-in-law called, and so on. If you can answer all 9, then congratulations, because you're doing well. It means that you have somehow trained your brain to capture and release all this information in one swoop. This is how you train clarity and creativity, even because clarity is when you can, like I said, take information that you have stored and put it out in an instance. You can think clearly, the path is flowing unstopped, uninterrupted. um Creativity is also the same thing, because when we have big projects and so on, we need ideas. These ideas came from all this information that you take in. um so it's that simple. You have to train your mind so that you can speak clearly. um Obviously, for Muslim, there is some other way we can do this. Maybe start reciting more of the Quranic verse, memorizing them. There's another way to train your brain so that you can improve your clarity in speaking. Okay. Um. So with that in mind, when you believe in yourself, you have this skill set. Okay, you can think clearly now. You can talk with confidence. But there's another thing that you have to remember is that communication is always and always will be a two-way street. That's why you need courtesy. This is something that often mislooked by a lot of people. And they think that you're in charge. I'm in charge here, so you have to listen. Whatever you do, you have to listen. No, that's not how it works. It's always a two-way street. You have to think, you have to try to be in the people's shoes. Okay, why are they telling me this? If this is not important to me, why are they telling me this? No, listen. Because a lot of crazy things, good things can happen if you just listen. It is a two-way street. So when you want them to hear you, you want them to know what you're talking about, just listen first. That's what matters now. Why am I emphasizing this is because when you want to tell a story, okay, you want them to feel what you feel, only can happen when you try to feel how they felt. You get me? Because courtesy can goes a long way. When you try to stoop down to their level, you see it with their eyes what they want to say, that would really help. So that the communication become more effective. They're listening, you're listening to them, and what you want to achieve right then is achievable in an instance. And this actually, although it might be simple just to listen, it needs practice. Because some people just listen to answer, not to understand. That's what courtesy means. Try to understand, try to stoop to their level, see it with their eyes. That way, the conversation, the communicating process would be much more meaningful. Um, so, like I said, listen. And this will be very different. Trust me. Because I used to be that guy who just want to like talk and give out, like, listen, man, I'm speaking. But I didn't listen to them. And it didn't work. So don't repeat my mistake. Okay. Um Maybe this is the next one is something that I consciously did here. I call it conversion, converting from some form to another. It's the art of playing with prosody. This is one of the main skills that effective communicators really use when they're talking. Prosody. If I can put prosody in a word, I would call it the music. of language, because um, there is grammar, the structure of language, and there's prosody, the music, the way how you carry the language. Well, prosody is divided into few types, which are the register. I mean, whether you want to go low or you want to speak a little higher. This is emphasized when you like asking a question. So where are you going? That's a change in register there. And then there's space. When you try to emphasize on something, you try to talk it slowly. Or when you wanna like give it a sense of time. Like I've been there, I've done that, and change the pace. This is the art of prosody, something that I've unconsciously been using the whole presentation. And it is something that I've been training myself to do. And there's the space, or usually people call it pause, which just give the audience time to ponder on what you're trying to say. And then there's volume, where you like wanna say things out loud, or you just wanna like pace it down a little so that people pay more attention. And then as usual, language have their own stress on everything. Why prosody is important? Because okay, let me tell you a story in two different ways. Last night I went to the park and then my cat died. So I was sad. So I don't know what to do. Or you could say I went to the park last night and my cat died. I don't know what to do at that moment. So that's an example of prosody. How you add music to something, how you add interest in something. If you want to talk to someone, me myself, I wouldn't want to really talk to someone that is monotonous, because then or listen even someone that is monotonous, because that would somehow I couldn't imagine what's going on. I couldn't imagine the emotion there. I couldn't imagine the pace. I couldn't imagine the sense of time when they're speaking like that. Try if That's why prosody is really important, because if you want to connect, this is how you connect on a subconscious level. When you try to speak slowly, people will try to hear more. When you speak louder, people wonder why. This is how you connect subconsciously, and it helps in creating more effective communication, because the message will be sent through there. Um, so it's worth mentioning also is the art of listening with your eyes. That is also a part of the beauty of this, because it is not mentioned here, but you need to use your body to talk also. Like I did just now, this is like kind of like I'm so defensive, I don't want to really talk, or I could just be open and really deliver. This is all of these are skills that you could master and you could learn. If you are interested, I could give you some books that I've been reading. One of it, the passage just now is from a book called Thinking with Creativity and Clarity. So I can pass the book over if anybody wants it. Um, and also some book on courtesy. Those are things that can really be an eye opener. This is another one that you can learn. You can do to become an effective communicator is to read more, learn more, and apply. That's the interesting book that I found. Is it called 21 Days of Becoming Effective Communicators. A given task every day for you to do and see how that changed your life. Before I end this, hopefully you guys have see the picture on how to become an effective communicator is something that takes time. So how to do that first is something that I always keep in mind is to that you watch your thoughts as your thoughts becomes your word, and that word becomes your action, things that you do. And that action becomes your habit. And that habit builds a character. And that character, this is the big word, become your destiny. It becomes your reality. If your habit is to really do stuff, is to communicate, you can become a great communicator. That's it. So just keep in mind that become an effective communicator takes time. So be conscious of whatever you're trying to do. Even if you're just talking to your spouse, be conscious of the body language, of the procedure that you're using. Because that is how unconsciously we're training this. We're spending 10,000 hours on becoming great communicators. So I guess that's all from me. Let's open the question to the floor, shall we? Ed Wahidain. Ed Wahidain. Let's open the question to the floor, shall we?
Maaf.
So, is there anything more that you guys want to know about becoming effective communicators? I'm free to answer if it is within my knowledge. Is there anything more that you guys want to know about becoming effective communicators? I'm free to answer if it is within my knowledge. Is it?
So if you have any question, you just can comment on the put it on the comment section. So if you have any question, you just can comment on the put it on the comment section. Put it on the
So, I know that most of the audience here are teachers. Um, hopefully it's not too late, but I would like to say Happy Teachers Day. And so this is something that you've been doing every day when you talk with your students and so on. So try to consciously apply all these tips that I have given into your own perspective. Because I'm talking this in a form of maybe a work environment, or you know wanna send a message and ask them to do stuff. There's how I imagine this communication situation. So you can apply the same thing. Maybe to your students, don't don't rush them to speak in American English or British English. Let them be themselves, for example. Because even now I don't even know whether I should use tomato or tomato. But still, I don't mind. You can just say that tomato because I'm Malaysian and I'm proud. There's one another thing that you can use. And yeah, students talk a lot, even in the university world context. We talk a lot. We want to talk to our lecturers a lot, and that is where the magic happens. That's where you really learn more. You really want to learn more when the teachers listen. And of course, most of the teachers here have experienced that because being a teacher is something I would say amazing because sometimes I can't keep up with my friends. Um, Imagine you doing that every day and for like I don't know 100 people a day, 4 classes. Teachers are amazing. I don't know how to congratulate you more on what you're doing right now because I know that I can't be at your place. Um, so any questions from the floor? Mm, and of course, most of the teachers they are here. Okay. Before we end this, again, I would like to say Happy Teachers Day to everyone. You've been educators are an amazing job. Be proud of it because I know I'm proud of my teachers for making. They are the reason I'm standing right here. Um, Thank you so much for your time. I'm not really expecting 94 viewers, but there is like, Alhamdulillah. Thank you for spending your time on this really short, but hopefully can deliver the message on how to communicate effectively. If I want to recap, is just be confident, train your memory, train your mind to become clear and creative when you talk, and then be courteous. Have some courtesy. Go down to the level, listen, and also the last part is prosody, something that you can really train, you can really consciously do, and soon it will be natural to everybody. That's how you become a great communicator. um I'm sorry if there is any like shortcomings from my side and my fellow prac- LIs, fellow practical student sides. Thank you so much for your time. I'll pass this on to Wahida.
Okay, so thank you, Mr. Nakib. So from the introduction until the conclusion, everything was an excellent sharing by Mr. Muhammad Nakib. So I hope today's sharing could bring many benefit to all of us. So now we have come to the end of today's event. Thank you, teachers, for your time and attention. So before we end this, please take note that there is a link given in the comment section. So please fill in the registration form so we can do the needful for your SPL KPM. Okay, so I guess that's all for today. Till we meet again, thank you and stay safe.